everyone, it's Chris with Expat Theory. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Appreciate you being here. This is going to be my second video for today. I wanted to talk a little bit about GP Transco in specific here. What's going on with GP Transco? I was out for about a month, and because of all the craziness that's happened, with going to the hospital, time off, my son-in-law passing away. I lost about a month's worth of drive time, and when I came back, I noticed an awful lot of empty trucks sitting at the headquarters in Joliet. I noticed a few people checking out, unloading their trucks and going home, leaving the company. I'm on a Facebook group for the drivers for GP Transco, and I've noticed a number of pretty unhappy posts coming from the drivers. A recurring theme is how the company is changing and people aren't happy with it. I've heard this from, my best friend and multiple others. It's almost like somebody wrote a script. They're all saying almost the same exact thing in their own words, of course, but it's very unusual to have a number of people saying exactly the same thing, that the company has changed over the last couple of years in the wrong direction, the way they're treating drivers, the way the company's going. People are unhappy, and a lot of people are leaving. And of course, they're always bringing in brand new people because they're paying them less than the people that have been here longer. And it's kind of like cycling through their drivers a little bit. Here's my problem. I don't expect GP Transco to be anything different than any other company. And that seems to be one of the things that people are saying is, oh, they're becoming just like all the rest. Well, they are one of all the rest. I mean, I don't know why anybody would expect anything different. I mean, if you want to be successful in an industry, you look at other companies within the industry that are successful and thriving, and you kind of emulate the things that they do to be successful. That's business. So I don't quite understand the expectation that GP Transco is going to be completely different than the other companies out there, and this is some sort of driver heaven or something, and starts falling apart and not being what they envisioned, and they're unhappy and quitting. I see the problems, and I see, I completely 100% trust, every word that came out of my best friend's mouth. So I know that they don't always treat drivers right. Fortunately for me, I've not had that experience so far. I mean, I know they have that potential, obviously, but for me, they haven't done me wrong. They haven't treated me badly. They haven't done anything to make me want to leave. In fact, it was kind of cool that I hate to say this, but I think they kind of forgot about me. When I was out, I heard nothing from them. So I kind of think they almost forgot I was working there. When I showed back up, they were like, wait a minute, who are you? But it worked out to my advantage, so I got to be able to take care of everything I needed to take care of without any pressure from the company about returning to work and all of that. So, it wasn't on any timetable. My miles have been fair to middling. I've made some decent checks. It hasn't always been exactly where I want my paychecks to be, but fairly close. And I know there's a lot of garbage going on within the trucking industry right now. A lot of the companies are not wanting to pay decent rates for the loads, and they're trying to get away with paying very low rates. And a lot of those loads are not profitable for GP Transco, so they won't touch them. And there's a lot of other companies out there that'll take just about anything just to keep their drivers moving and making money. But I think there's a threshold for GP that it has to be at a certain level or it's just not profitable enough for them. So the load count has dropped some, but I'm not out of a job. I personally have not experienced a whole lot of downtime because of loads. I've kept moving. I haven't gotten the greatest of miles, like I said, but I've kept moving and made decent paychecks. I really don't have any complaints. They've treated me decently. So I'm a little bit torn, and I'm trying to kind of stay out of the whole Facebook group comment section because it seems to be very polarized. Some people act like GP Transco walks on water. You know, they're the greatest thing since sliced bread and white on rice. And other people hate it and think it's hell. Personally, I think both sides are wrong. I think they're just a regular company like everybody else. I mean, they have some things that are better than others. They have some things that are worse. I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between them and, when I worked for CRST, when I was with Expedited, they were doing well. Didn't have a whole lot of complaints there. Kind of the same thing here. The only reason why I left CRST is because I ended up in that Kentucky regional office, which absolutely sucked. And it completely changed everything. Money went down. The business professionalism dropped to the basement. It was just a real pain in my butt just to try and work there. So, but when I was with Expedited, I was doing good. I came here thinking I was going to do more, but then the market changed. So I'm not really doing much more. I might actually come in a little bit less. That's due to market circumstances and my circumstances being off for a month. I didn't account that and figure that into my budget. So I may or may not make my financial target at the end of the year. I'm going to still try, but I'm not going to hold my own feet to the fire to get there. I know this year has produced some challenges, but I don't know. I really don't. It's very concerning. I know that the driver count is slowly dropping off, and I know they're continuing to hire people, but trucking has such a high turnover rate, and it's not a comfortable feeling to know that they're kind of cycling through some of their drivers like that, which I guess the other companies are doing too. But for me, I'm not, it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless they do something bad to me or something happens that makes me unhappy with this job. It really doesn't make any sense for me to go from one to the other because this is pretty much standard across the industry. Everybody's kind of having issues with getting good pay and good miles and good loads. So that's the way the game's played. So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is what's going on with GP Transco is it just seems to be odd that I'm seeing a number of their drivers that have been with them for a long period of time becoming unhappy and checking out and or leaving the company and voicing their displeasure along the way, which is I don't know. It's a little shocking, a little surprising. and they're claiming that they don't get enough loads, they're not getting enough miles, they're not getting enough money. Um, but the newer drivers are getting loads and getting more miles than they are. Um, the way things are handled, the professionalism between the office entities and the drivers. And that's something I don't. And that is something that I will mention. In trucking, we have a huge disparity between those who work in the office and in management versus the drivers. There's very much the ivory tower syndrome. People who work outside of driving and doing management or doing dispatching or planning or HR or anything like that, they're all locked away behind closed doors where us drivers have no access. They're afraid of us. That should tell you something. This is the industry, so it's not just GP, but GP's got a bad case of it. But if your office employees are afraid of your drivers and need to be behind locked doors to protect them from us, guess what? That means you're going to do something to piss them off. And it's part of your business model. So you have to take precautions. Yeah, not a good thing. And it doesn't make us drivers feel very good that, you're afraid of us. Talk about a kick in the gut. You're scared that we might come in there and get pissed off and say something or do something wrong, which people are stupid when they get mad. They do stupid things. So, I kind of understand it. But think about what you're doing. Think about how that comes across to us. And think about that's part of your business model, that you're going to piss off your employees to the point where they might actually get mad and come at you and do something stupid. What kind of a business model is that? Yeah, that's bullshit. Plain and simple. I don't like that. And the disparity between the money. You can look at the parking lot and see. You look where the drivers are forced to park, which is way out in the back pasture, in the back 40. Because we're not allowed to park up close to the building. But you look back there, a lot of lower end or middle class cars versus where you come up close to the building where all the inside people work and they park up there. Oh, they got some nice cars all the way up to like a friggin' electric Porsche. Come on. We know that's expensive. That's a little bit of a slap in the face. Park your ugly crap way down the hill and away from us, because we don't want you up here with us. And then just to see that the money is very different. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, and the ivory tower syndrome is alive and well in many companies. So I know CRST for sure, and I also know GP for sure, and I've heard it from other drivers at other companies. It's the same way there too. I don't think this is a unique situation. I'm thinking it's pretty much industry wide. So I don't know. I'm just thinking that I'm a little shocked to see a number of drivers who've been with the company 2, 3, 4, 5 or more years bouncing. So it makes me wonder what's up with GP. Alright guys, that's going to be the video. I just wanted to briefly talk about that, and that's been bouncing around my head for the last few days ever since I returned back to driving. But I'm sticking where I'm at. I'm going to keep doing as best a job I can do and make as much money as I can. If they make me angry or do something bad to me, well, then I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But for right now, they haven't done anything wrong. In fact, they've kind of pretty much done everything right. They left me the hell alone and let me do what I needed to do and take care of the things I needed to take care of. And even after being out for a month, I came back and still had my job. I went and did my drug test, you know, because I've been out for a while. Pass that, no problem. Get back in my truck, and I'm back on the road, like nothing ever happened. So, you know, how can I be mad about it? How can I be upset? Or how is that not to my benefit? You know, I didn't get harassed or bothered or anything for the time that I was out, and I didn't come back for them to tell me, well, sorry, we got to part ways. You know, my truck was still there, all my stuff was still in the truck. It was a simple matter of getting everything ready to roll, and I got right back on the road. All right, guys, I'm gonna call it there. You guys have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next video.